What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Broscast, episode 295. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, how you doing, buddy, on this glorious Tuesday?
Glorious, icy Tuesday.
Yes.
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Doing fantastic. Didn't get as much snow as we anticipated this weekend, of course. But
yeah, I feel like
it's okay.
the second there's like precipitation in the air, like weathercasts, like weathersmen and weather women just like blow their load like instantly, and they're like, so much snow, and they're overestimating everything, and then like it'll be 2 days later and they're like, oh well, actually no, the European model said different than the American model, and
the storm's gone north,
and like you guys can't listen to that. But it's like you provided the information to us, and now you're kind of reeling it back in. And then, you know, some people you have the conspiracy theorists out there. It's like, oh, well, you know, maybe grocery stores need a little bit of extra income. Let's shoot them all out so they could go out and get their milk and bread and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a fun time.
It's fun though.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, I prepared. I went to, I tried to go, I went Thursday because I was like, I'm not going out Friday because it's going to be crazy. So
it was,
I hit up, I went and got some beer, got some liquor, got like my meals planned for like what I'm cooking on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I was good. And then Monday rolled around, and then I ended up going out to the grocery store and got some stuff for the week. And yeah, bread was there was all of like the name brand bread was still available. Like Dave's Killer Bread and stuff like that, like kind of that those kind of fancy breads, if you will. And there was a decent amount of milk left as well.
Because who needs milk during this time?
I don't get it, dude. I genuinely like bread I can get because like that's quick.
Sandwiches.
It doesn't need to be refrigerated. If you do lose power, you can throw your meats, you know, in the snow. Who cares?
Yeah.
It'll be just fine. But yeah, the milk thing, it's like that's like someone who never drinks milk or eats cereal, and then all of a sudden you're like, I gotta have milk.
That's it. That's got to be a psyop of some sort. Like that's a conspiracy right there. Big milk.
It'd be a big milk. And then when I went on Monday, all the bread was completely wiped. There was nothing on the shelf. Luckily, we had a little bit of bread left, so it's fine. I mean, I don't really need bread like that, but my son eats sandwiches on the daily.
I don't mess with bread like that.
I don't really mess with. Well, I usually, if I eat a sandwich, like, usually I do like a wrap. I'll get like one of those like green like spinach wraps and make something out of that. I'm not against sandwiches, but yeah, usually if I am eating that, I'll go the wrap route. But there wasn't any wraps at all either. Like no tortillas, nothing. It was absurd. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, man, had a great weekend. It was a good time. Just grilled out a little bit, made some burgers, did crab legs on Friday, made mussels for the first time. So that was cool.
Nice.
Mussels are fun because they're kind of like oysters,
yeah,
but they're like a lot smaller. So like
I think they're a lot better too.
You think they're a lot better?
Yeah, especially if you like cook them in some good sauce.
Yeah, I made like a wine like butter kind of sauce, like garlicky sauce, man. Oh, it was so good. Like I was just like, because Brittany and my wife doesn't eat like seafood really like that. But I got a pound of mussels, which is a lot after you cook it down. And it's like there were so many, so I had to throw some away. But yeah, I was just pulling them out and just eating it like in the. It was so good. Yeah, it was super good. But, yeah, great weekend. How was your snowy weekend?
It was good. I mean, last weekend of paternity leave, so there was that kind of, you know, the weekend scaries going on, just kind of dreading Sunday. It ended up being but it was good. I mean, didn't really do too much. Went out on Friday looking for D batteries for my fireplace because I needed that backup for the starter in case the power goes out. I went to 5 different stores and they were all specifically out of D batteries, and then ended up going to Costco and they had plenty. I had to get 14 of them, but you know, now I have a bunch of D batteries in case I ever need them.
Yeah, I got some batteries too. luckily, the only ones I needed were AAA, and we ended up finding some like our local Dollar General.
Yeah, I mean, AAA batteries were everywhere. It was just those pesky D batteries. And then we ended up not losing power, which is great, but we were worried for a second. So we have a new baby. It's like, I got to keep the house super warm. Whereas if it was just us, we could survive and be fine.
Yeah.
With no power. But it didn't end up losing power. Snowed a little bit, iced, like sleeted and freezing rain mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, really just chilled out. Just chilled. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we're going to we got a ton of news this week. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest news episodes we're going to have in a while. So we'll blast through that here in a little bit. It's a lot of like kind of micro stuff and
just a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But before we do that, we're gonna dive into we're gonna rank our favorite Resident Evil games of all time in lieu of Resident Evil Requiem coming out next month. I think 1 month from today, which is awesome. Can't wait for that. But Nick, let's dive into what we've been playing. I want to hear about your Fire Emblem experience.
I'll go through it quick because I don't want to overstay my welcome with all my Fire Emblem talk of the past few weeks. But I did finish New Mystery of the Emblem, which is the DS remake that never came to the US. It was Japan only as a remake of Fire Emblem 3. Loved it. Thought it was great. The map size is awesome. It's like, I think 30 minutes was the longest chapter that I had, whereas most of them were around like that 15-minute mark. So I was just speeding through them, just going through them so fast, and it was nice.
Are you doing like a normal Fire Emblem, like permadeath run?
Yes, but I do restart if one of my beloved characters dies.
Okay. Classic. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you have to. That's just part of the Fire Emblem experience. Yeah. I could have, maybe one day I'll do like an Iron Man run where you just commit to whoever dies, but it just feels bad.
I've never done like a full run like that. Is there a point in the story where if like you just lose everyone, like you just cannot physically go on?
Yes, and that happened the very first time I played Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
I got to like chapter 17 or something, and I just had the 3 lords left, and everyone else was dead. I just couldn't go on. I had to restart the game.
It was a well fought battle.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But so yeah, you can get to that point. My one big gripe with this game is there's too many characters. There's like 70 characters.
Jeez.
Like so many that there's no way you would even use all of them. Like there's no way to equally level up all the characters. I ended up just sticking with my kind of
maybe they intended for you to just do a run where you just, if your characters died, you've got so many people. Maybe that's how they intended it to be played.
Honestly, that's probably how I should have played it, knowing this. If I had known that in advance, I probably would have, let some units die.
Yeah.
But yeah, 70
of fodder.
Yeah, just a ton of fodder, just a ton of like boring looking characters. And the reason I did it is because there's a lot of returning characters from Marth's previous game, Shadow Dragon. So like you're kind of like have a mix of new characters, and then you're meeting the old characters along the way and recruiting them.
So is this a direct sequel to Shadow Dragon that came out on the 3DS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Came out on the DS.
DS. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I mean, I liked it more than Shadow Dragon. I thought it was a really great sequel.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so finish that one.
I wonder if they'll ever release that one.
I don't know, unless they did like some sort of Switch version, or maybe when the DS gets added to NSO at any point, they could add it in, but I don't know. It's so weird. It's like I get why they didn't release it, because Shadow Dragon didn't do well in the US, but
yeah,
just kind of a
I bet they released it now. Like I bet it'd be at least a million seller.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it's going to show up on the podcast, but I'll have to edit it out if it does. Like a Burger King ad just popped up on the tier maker list. So
a what ad?
A Burger King ad.
Oh, Burger King.
It's like, here's a juicy Whopper for you. I'm like, what?
And a little bit of chicken fried. I'm still making my way through Path of Radiance. I think I'm on like chapter 22, 21. Still loving that game. And then I did start up Genealogy of the Holy War recently as well. these maps are just so ginormous. The prologue took like an hour and a half by itself. It's just like it's almost like you're controlling a full army across the continent. So that's the kind of the big difference with this game is like the maps just take hours and hours and hours, but you get to save every turn. So it's not like
are you afraid that you're gonna get burnt out on Fire Emblem?
Yeah. But
like already am. I gotta
ride high until I burn out. You know what I mean? I do want to get to Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I've already played it on PS5, but I do want to dive into it on the Switch too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I'll dive first. I've been playing. Obviously, I think I talked about last week. Still playing Animal Crossing. Just kind of like my daily little like. I'll play for about an hour at a time and do the dailies essentially. I'm still super early in the game. Like I haven't even built like the item shop yet or like the store or whatever. So I think I'm like 5 iron gems away, whatever that is. So still early. I can't access the DLC until after I get like the level 3 island or level 2 whenever KK Slider comes in there. So still a ways away for that. I wish I could just dive in it, but obviously my island ended up getting lost.
Does the game look noticeably better?
It does look crisper, which is nice. Load times are actually pretty. I remember the load times being pretty kind of horrendous on the base Switch.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are. I mean, they don't bother me at all. I assume they're better. I mean, but I don't think that was in like the notes at all, or like in the kind of the video that the presentation that Nintendo put out. They didn't specifically talk about load times, unless maybe I'm just misremembering. But they feel like they're a little bit faster, which is good. Quality of life, like the fact that you can build multiple items at once is super nice. They added they added like a radial menu for your tools. I mean, before I think you could just hit left or right on the D-pad and it would just like shuffle to the next tool. So you're just kind of guessing unless you went into the actual menu and clicked it. But now you have a full radial menu that you can just go in and choose. So it's a lot super streamlined in that way. Nice. So yeah, everything is a lot. It plays a lot faster than it used to, which is awesome. The only gripe I have really now is the fact that you still can't eat fruit. You can only eat it one at a time, which is not a huge deal. It takes less than a minute to eat 10, but it's like out of all the quality of life improvements you did, like you couldn't have done that. It's a little weird. I did have like some issues at first whenever you're giving the like the fossils and the fish and the insects to the owl guy. I can't remember his name for the museum. Yeah. Before you actually build the museum, you can only do it one at a time, which was super annoying. And I'm like, man, like, is this going to be the same thing? But once you actually get the museum, you can then kind of give them all at once, which I think that was in the original.
I think it was
original game. Again, maybe because you only needed 15, I think, to start. They just wanted you to do it one at a time. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's cool. There's like you can go in and get the scuba diving gear and you can just walk out into the water and do some fishing there. Like you swim around and you see like bubbles in the ocean and you just dive down and you immediately grab the fish. So cool. I don't know. I assume they added different variants or different kinds of fish from the base model. Cause I was kind of finding the same kind of fish I was just casting a line. Uh-huh. But it's a different way of doing that, so that's cool. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna continue playing on, so I can at least experience the hotel DLC and get some of the Zelda characters and stuff like that, and Zelda costumes. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I can't believe I'm playing Animal Crossing the big 2026, but here I am. It's a lot of fun.
And it's not giving you COVID vibes anymore. Has that association deteriorated?
I think it has. Yeah. Once I got past that, and I was like, man, this feels weird. It feels weird to be back. But now that I've played it for a couple of weeks, like it's fun.
Nice.
So yeah, a lot of fun. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here, Nick. Highguard. I have downloaded this game. I have played the tutorial, and I have played one official match. I will say I think Jeff had a good mind about presenting this game, but the game where I hated it, and I think the vast majority of the internet hated the fact that we ended on a hero shooter. And I really think Jeff did a disservice to this game, because I think a lot of that that hatred, I guess, like went into the game, especially day one. Because there was a lot of like immediate negative reviews. And I think with Steam, like you have to at least play the game for 5 minutes, which I think you should have to play it for a couple of hours before you can actually leave a review. I'm not sure whether that's a thing on Steam. I don't really mess around with Steam a lot.
Unless you can't like load a game, right? Unless it's broken.
But I think, and I don't know how much. I don't know what playtime means. Like you just you boot it up and just let it idle for 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't really know what the criteria are when it comes to that. I would assume Steam would have. I thought you had to play for a couple hours at least, or maybe you bought the game and then you returned it and you're like, this game kind of sucks. Here's a leaving a review. So I think a lot of the negativity reviews are some of that stuff. But as far as like the gameplay itself, it is kind of interesting. Like so to break it down, like you're on this kind of large map. It's 3v3. You start out in your base. You have, I think depending on the base you either have 2 or 3 generators that you have to defend. And you at the very beginning, there's 3 stages of the fight. The first stage is you're just stuck in your base. There's like a big energy shield that's around there. And you have to basically fortify the walls. So like all the walls can be destroyed, but you can fortify them and make them extra durable. So you spend like maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds doing that. And then you have the raiding. So then you go out and you raid, you go out and you loot. So you go out and you find the red or the blue chests. One will be blue is shields. You'll get like shields and other kind of shield based items, and then red is your weaponry. So you can you start out with like whatever kind of weapon you have: machine gun, assault rifle, pistol, shotgun, and then you can go out and either upgrade that stuff or get a better gun. They're all labeled blue, purple, orange. The normal. And then there's like a shopkeeper around the map as well, where you can go in and buy ammunition. And then there's these blue crystals that are scattered around through the map, and you have like an axe that you pickaxe the blue crystals, and you use that as your currency to then go to that shopkeeper and buy weapons, ammo. Cool. So that stuff's cool. And then the third stage is the raid stage. So depending on where the map, it changes every turn, but there's a giant sword, that spawns. You have to go and collect the sword. And then you take it to the enemy's base, and there's a couple of different raid points that you can choose. But you go to the raid point, you would take the sword and you stab it into their shield, and then a giant battering ram comes out of nowhere and starts to attack the shield. And once that's been triggered, there's no way to stop it. So then you have about 30 seconds before the shield is destroyed, and then like there's for the players that are raiding the shield, the battering ram, you can climb it and kind of get onto the top of it, and then you can kind of jump in as soon as the shield comes down, or you can stay up there and shoot. And then after that, it's basically pure defense for the defending team. Like you just have to stop the opposing team from destroying the generators. I don't know what that looks like, because both times when I play, I played 3 rounds and but 1 match. Neither team, once they raided, like initiated the raid, were able to stop the opposing teams. I don't know what that looks like and really how to do that. There is like about a 17-second timer between respawning, and that like once you die, there's like a blue orb or a red orb that appears, and then the either your teammates can come in and revive you, or the opposing team can go in and destroy it, and then you initiate your kind of respawn. It's fine. I don't see myself going back to it, to be honest. Okay. I don't think it's a terrible game by any means. It is interesting. Like the actual riding on the mount is a lot of fun. It's super fast. A lot of the criticisms I've seen with this game is the maps are just too big for 6 people to be on. Like, yeah. In the second phase where you're going out and looting, you can technically go out and fight people, but it's kind of pointless. because you don't really drop anything. Like there's no incentive to kill before, you're going to the sword to initiate the raid component of the match. So it's a cool mode. I haven't seen, it's kind of a combination of some other games. I just don't know if it has any legs. Like I know they have this whole
like a
roadmap for what they are adding, and a lot of it's just like new map and new guns. I don't see any other modes being added, and I don't know if this one mode has enough legs to it to have people coming back. Like I really just see this game, I don't know, having like a couple 100, 200, 500 concurrent from a month from now. Like I didn't see necessarily like a battle pass or anything like that. There is like you do gain like currency that you can go in and buy skins and stuff like that. Like everything. Like I think the wardens themselves are just the wardens, and they're like the heroes. I think those are always going to be free, and then you just go in and get your whatever skin you prefer. And then there's also like pay. You can pay money to obviously buy skins as well.
Okay.
I just don't see like there's anything there. And I think this game would have benefited. Again, I go back to Jeff Keighley. Like his heart was in the right place. I don't know what he saw in this game that he was like, man, I have to have it at the Game Awards or to end the show at least. But for him to have it there in the show, that trailer was not the greatest trailer in the world. There was the hype was very mixed, I guess. And then there was radio silence from the team. But once the game came out yesterday, they were like, yeah, that's how we always intended it to be, like kind of a stealth release. Like, it's a mixture of Apex, developers. So like that worked for them back then. So I think they were trying to do that. And I think if they just would have stealth released it, I think the positivity would have been a little bit higher. But for them to like get announced, radio silence for literally a month plus, and then like we're joking on Twitter, do the developers know that the game's coming out on the 26th? Not a great look. And then they do the first trailer the same day it comes out, and then like an hour later the game's ready to go.
Yeah, it feels like a weird lead up to release, and they definitely didn't. I mean, they said it themselves, but they didn't plan for the Game Awards, and that shows and like their marketing.
Yeah,
I think it would have had a better reception if they had shadow dropped it similar to Apex Legends, because there's no expectation going in. Whereas being a closer to the Game Awards, that's a lot. That's a lot to live up to, especially with how much Jeff was hyping it up.
Yeah, and like if it was like if it was like Titanfall 3 or something, or Apex Legends 2, or or something like that, I think I wouldn't necessarily have cared for like an Apex Legends 2. But if you're going to end on like a multiplayer based thing, do it on something like big. I don't know. I just feel like this game kind of was doomed to fail from the start. And 95,000, I think, concurrence, like the peak concurrence is not nothing, but
yeah, we'll see how it does over the next few weeks. I don't think it'll fail necessarily, but
yeah,
I don't think it'll have like the biggest player base. And they said they don't need the biggest player base to succeed, but
yeah,
obviously for a live service game, you do need a dedicated.
You do need a dedicated concurrent base.
Yeah.
So I'm looking right now at the concurrence real quick. Let's see. Peaked at 97,000, 36,000 in the last 24 hours. And there's about 19,000, a little over 19,000 right now. So not terrible.
And that's just Team 2. It's out on console as well.
And I will say, like, whenever I got into like my first match, it loaded right away. There was like almost no waiting at all, like in a queue. So that's probably pretty good, all things considered. But yeah, well, I'm very curious to see what this game looks like in a month. Again, I don't think it's. I don't know. Maybe there was more to more to Concord than what this game offers, but that Concord was also $40 and this is free, so it's like
Yeah, and Concord didn't really do anything different outside of the hero shooter.
Yeah, it was just a regular hero shooter. So yeah, I'm very, very curious to see how this this game looks like in a month.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe Jeff kind of learned his lesson, because I think he even like I saw someone post on Twitter. It's like, does Jeff have like stakes in this company or something like that? Like what is going on? Like it was.
I think he just saw something in it. I don't know what it is, but I think he just saw something special in it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like maybe if they added more modes, like a deathmatch or something, like I find it very strange, and developers continue to do this where they put out these free to play games or live service games and they just don't have any content in there. Like they got the maps, they got plenty of, like I think they have like eight wardens to choose from, tons of guns and stuff.
5
but
maps.
Yeah, 5 maps. I think it's 5 maps and like 8 different bases, because like when you go in, like with your team of 3, you kind of do like a voting, like a veto system for choosing your base. So yeah, it's a I think a unique game, but as someone who doesn't play a ton of multiplayer games these days, it didn't have enough for me to kind of keep me interested in it.
Gotcha.
But again, it's free to play. If anybody wants to check it out, certainly do. All right, let me go to Final Fantasy X. I am about 30 hours into this game now.
Jeez.
Yeah, I've been playing the hell out of this game. I am to the point, I am 30 hours in, mind you, and the game just opened up.
Jesus Christ.
and when I say open up, I mean you get like the airship, and you can finally kind of go back and revisit some places so you can work on like additional side quests and stuff. Because like, and like I think I like it because like the game is presented as you are going on this pilgrimage with Yuna and the Guardians, and you are going to collect all the Aeons and then defeat Sin, the big bad. And like that's what you do. You go along this giant quest or whatever. Not a lot of side stuff going on, but it all kind of makes sense whenever you figure out, okay, this is what we got to do to defeat Sin. By the way, we have this giant airship, so if there's anything else you need to kind of clean up, we certainly can. So that's your opportunity to go find some of like the secret Aeons and some of like the like all the characters, like mega weapons. I know it's called something specific, like but like their best weapons, and there's like some side quests. So I paused there. I'll go back to it here probably within the next week or so. But Final Fantasy VII, man, I think I'm about 12 hours into that one as well.
My God.
Yeah, I've been playing the hell out of some Final Fantasy. This game it's amazing. Like it's incredible. I am so glad I picked this up on the Switch. It runs, I know it doesn't run 60, but damn, like it doesn't feel like 30. I don't know. Like I've had no hitches in the gameplay at all.
Nice.
There may have been some drops here and there, but I haven't noticed them. It runs great. It looks great. I love the combat system. I love like the kind of the
it's a good mix.
Yeah, which I guess I didn't, and maybe this was a few years ago when like that first demo dropped, and I was like, man, Final Fantasy needs to just be turn-based, and like I'm just putting my foot down. I don't want it. But yeah, once I got into there, the combat is a ton of fun. All the characters are fun. I know like people a couple years ago, whenever they first came out, they're like, man, Cloud is just so like moody. Like I kind of love Cloud, man. Cloud is like a badass. Like
he is a badass.
Yeah. He looks so cool, man. His hair, his giant sword,
outfit. Man,
yeah, just
like
looks
peak,
so awesome.
Character design for sure.
And it's like all the girls seem to like they want him. Like every new girl that gets introduced, they're like always flirting with him. He's just like, no, let's just go. It's so moody. Oh, dude, I love it, man. So I think like story wise, I think I'm in the next sector. I think I'm in sector 7. So I won't spoil anything or anything like that, but I've gotten out of like, but I kind of like love the, like you go and like once you do like the demo, and you go out and you're kind of in the game's not open world. It's more like open zoned, I would say, right now at least. Like I went to the first town, like whatever like Tifa's at, and there's the bar, and then it kind of opens up and you can start doing all the side quests that people, you're trying to build up your merc reputation. And you start getting more side quests presented to you, and then kind of similar in the next area as well. Like you're doing side quests with Aerith. Boss fights are fun. Combat's a lot of fun. A lot of variation with like the materia. Like I kind of like how it's definitely magic based, but I don't know. It doesn't present itself as like just like a character's like using magic. Like you have to have like the materia to in order to use the magic abilities. So like you can kind of use whatever, as long as you have the materia but you can use whatever kind of fire ability. And then I like the proficiency as well. Like the more you use fire, then you can unlock Fyra and then Firaga or whatever. So cool. And then like the summons, like coming from Final Fantasy X, where the summons are the Aeons are so predominant in that game. They're so important. And coming in here and you see like Ifrit and Shiva and stuff, like it's kind of awesome.
Man, I'm so excited to get back to this game because I played it a few years ago before Rebirth came out, and I kind of rushed through it because I wanted to finish it before Rebirth. But I need to get back with fresh eyes because I remember thinking this game's like it's like an 8, it's like a 7.5 or an 8, but I need to revisit it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been a blast so far. And it seems like it's doing very, very well on the Switch.
Yeah, I could see this being a million seller.
It probably already has sold a million, because like I think there's been reports of like GameStops and WalMarts and Targets like out of stock, which is kind of unheard of with games in general these days. You don't really see that much. Like I said, because I did end up getting the game 2 days early. I just happened to go to Walmart for something and was like, always peek the game section. It was one copy behind the glass. And I walked around to the counter. I said, hey, want to get a game? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, Final Fantasy? Yep. Or I was like, Final Fantasy. He pulled it out and he was ringing it up and it wouldn't ring up. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not going to be able to get it. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, well, I know why. I know what's going on is the system isn't allowing you to ring it up because it's not supposed to be on the floor yet. But I never said that.
Of course not.
And then he ended up manually entering it in for me. And I was like, I feel like I got away with murder.
It's so crazy. It's not letting you buy it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know why.
He was like, yeah, this has never happened before. And I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Should be.
Yeah, but been such a blast, man. Like Final Fantasy is kind of peak RPG right now for me. And always really has been. I know you say you're going to eventually dive into 10 this year, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it because it's damn good.
I can't wait. Nice.
Yeah, and there's like a monologue that Yuna does at one point, like towards the end of the game, where I was just like tearing up like crazy. I was like, man, this is so good, dude. This looks so good, and these jagged graphics.
You could beeline towards the end right now if you wanted to.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, all I gotta do is initiate kind of the final phase, and I can go through. But
gotcha.
Yeah, but that's what I did before. Like I went and got. I don't know if I got all of their like ultimate weapons, but there's still like some secret Aeons that I can get. And then I'll talk about the sphere grid as well. I don't hate it, but I also like don't love it. Like it feels like it's making it more obtuse than it should be just with a traditional leveling up system.
Is that in 7?
No, it's in 10. It's in 10.
Okay.
7 does have something similar, but it's like you have like this, like you go into the weapon itself, and then it has like the cores, and then you have like 4 or 5 cores that you can upgrade, and then move on to the next core and the next core. This one in Final Fantasy X, like you don't level up in a traditional way. You get sphere grid points, whatever they're called. So you get your battle points, and then once you hit a certain criteria, then you'll get one sphere grid point, which means you can move 1 point on the sphere grid.
Okay.
And sometimes the 1 point may not lead to nothing, but there's empty nodes on the sphere grid, which then you can turn into like if you have like an HP node or something else, you can kind of put it there if you want to. You don't have to, but yeah, that's how you move. So it's a little bit slow, and then like sometimes it'll branch off, and you're like, oh well, I want to learn this ability, and then you realize, oh well, actually this person's best ability is the opposite way. Now I have to like kind of wait, because you can't just move on the same. You can't move back on the same points you unlocked before. You still have to follow the rules of the grid, which is a little bit of a pain. I think there's like, I'll have to mess with it, but I think there's ways to transport on the sphere grid. I was kind of reading some of the nodes, the spheres that you can put on the nodes. So I think there may be something like that you can do. I'm not 100% sure. So I'll look into that before I finish it. But yeah, I feel like this game is a little bit ahead of its time as well. Cause like you can, like during the battle, you can swap weapons out, and you can swap shields and stuff out, because like there's different effects. Like there's at some point in the game, there's like you'll get zombified, which means if you can't use healing items on yourself anymore, which is a huge pain, but some weapons you can have a zombie ward on it, which it'll it's like a percentage base now, like 50-50, whether you'll get zombified or depending on if you have it unlocked, you can do like zombie proof, where you can no longer. Same thing with like everything else, like silence proof, stone proof. But you have to use your items to like I think for the zombie ward, you have to use like 60 holy waters in order to add that effect onto a piece of equipment that you have. And some equipments will have 3 different slots, 4 different slots, maybe just 1 slot. So there's a lot of options in that regard as well. So yeah, super cool.
Sounds super convoluted.
I'm probably making it more convoluted than it is, because it is very basic. Like you get a weapon, and it'll have like, it'll either say, HP up 10% or magic up 10%, and that's all it does. And then some will have free slots that you can then enter in whatever you want, as long as you have the items to add that ability into your weapon. I'm making it sound way more complicated than it is, but yeah, it's a pretty cool system. I don't think I messed with that too much when I initially played that game back in the day, because I don't remember much of that stuff, and it is kind of crucial.
How did I get through this game?
I think I relied heavily on the Aeons to kind of get me through.
Okay.
And there's definitely a couple bosses towards the end of the game where, yes, you can use the Aeons, but a lot of times they'll get one hit. And so I don't know how I did it back in the day. All right, well let's dive over into let's rank our favorite Resident Evil games of all time, and we're gonna do oops, here we go. There we go. We're gonna do the mainline Resident Evil games on this particular tier maker list. There's like all the multiplayer stuff, but all right, well, let's start with we'll do the remakes for some of these games as well, since I don't know if you've played the original. I think the remakes are obviously better. All right, well, let's start with the very first Resident Evil 1.
So I've not finished this one. I have it on Switch.
I have not either.
I mean, I would put it in like B tier, just because for whatever reason I didn't finish it, but I enjoyed what I played.
Yeah,
I think it just gets a little bit obtuse at certain points.
It's hard, like the limited save system.
Yeah,
the tank controls, the camera angles are a little bit jarring sometimes. Yeah, I think B is good. I could appreciate it, and maybe one day I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Or maybe like I would love just like a Resident Evil 1 proper remake. Like that would be.
Good.
That'd be sick.
3rd-person remake.
I guess let's go down the line. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh, dude. S.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Easy S. Incredible game.
Absolutely. This is one of those games where like I think it starts off really, really hot, but I think it's I'm not gonna say worse, but the PlayStation is such an iconic Resident Evil spot, and it's so much fun going around there.
Yeah, and then you get to the lab, and it's like, well, okay, now we're in a Resident Evil lab, which
are like always
manages to jump.
Yeah, they're like notoriously like the worst parts of these games.
Yeah.
All right, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. I definitely not an S tier game. I think it definitely has its shortcomings. I mean, we talked about it before, but it is very, very short.
It is a really fun game, though. I would argue low A or high B.
Yeah, I would say I still probably like it better than Resident Evil 1. And I would say A. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Have you played Code Veronica?
I have not.
Okay.
But you have, right?
I have not.
Oh.
Resident Evil 0. Have you played that one?
No.
Okay.
You played this one.
I have played this one. I may put it ahead of Resident Evil. I still it's tank control game. You know, it takes place on the initially on the train. Really cool setting. Dealing with zombies on a train is always scary. In the close quarters. I don't know if I've beaten this game, to be honest. Like, I know you end up in the mansion, I think, at some point.
Oh, you do?
I think so. I could be misremembering that one, but I still think I preferred it over Resident Evil 1. Yeah, that one definitely needs a remake as well. Resident Evil 4. Obviously S tier.
I feel like we should do both for like both the original and the remake for this one.
Okay.
I think they're both S tier.
Yeah, I would say so.
And I would put them I would put them in front of Resident Evil 2. I think that makes sense. I think the remake just is better than the original.
Yeah, I mean it's the same game. Like they didn't cut any parts. Like it's
yeah.
It just looks way better. For like controls, obviously way better. Yeah, I think this is an absolutely one of the best Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Revelations? Did you play? I know you played it on the 3DS. Did you ever play it like on Switch or any other?
I did. I purchased it on Switch and I played a little bit, but I did beat it on the 3DS. I would put this in low B. I would put this below. Yeah, below original Resident Evil. It just the boat setting isn't super fun, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
I skipped over 5.
Oh, we did. Well, let's do Revelations 2. Let me find it real quick.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, Revelations 2. I would put it above Revelations.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Because that one did have that weird episodic release, but if you play it now and play it just as a full game, it is a really fun game.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. All right, Resident Evil 5. I'm gonna say A+. Like I think this game. I don't really know why people. Do you agree with that? By the way. Okay,
I do agree with that.
I don't know why this game gets the hatred that it gets.
Well, it's just the time period it came out. Like it had that kind of brown color palette,
but it was still like
not very
fun. And granted, like I played it with one of my friends growing up, and we played it through weekends. And co-op is absolutely the way to go with this game. Playing it just by yourself with Shiva as the AI is not a great experience. But co-op, like, man, like, yeah, is it as good as RE4? Absolutely not. But I still think it's a great, like,
it plays great.
Yeah, it plays. It's got a lot of fun set pieces, like,
and it's not scary.
No,
but at the same time, Resident Evil 4 isn't very scary. So like, you can't really knock it for that. It just goes even further in that kind of action direction.
Yeah, and maybe that's why it gets the hate. Like, but it's more so than 4. But yeah, it's still like such a fun game. Like people are like, oh, like we don't need to worry about remaking 5 and 6. Like 6, I could say, yeah, that one's such a weird one. But 5, like you could argue that after 4, like it's definitely downhill for a little bit, but I don't think 5 is so far gone that it deserves to be hated like it is. So
yeah.
Well,
it's just like you can see how you get to 6 from 5.
Exactly. Resident Evil 6. You've beaten this game, right? All the way?
I've beaten Leon's story, but
I've never
anyone else. I would.
Good.
You never played this game?
I've played through a partial bit of Leon's story, and just did not. The game did not click with me at all.
I would put it at C tier.
Yeah.
Or D. I mean, honestly,
yeah,
D.
It's pretty rotten.
It just doesn't play well either. Like Leon is not fun to play. He feels like an action hero in a zombie.
And it like super like very quick timing as well.
Yes, super quick.
Yeah, and that's that kind of era too, where just so much quick time going on.
Yeah.
Let's look. Like Resident Evil. Like I don't think you ever played Outbreak.
No,
I would say that's probably like a C. I think it's probably a better experience than 6. It was like kind of the first Resident Evil multiplayer game, but it was also single player as well. Like you could play through it single player it. But it was interesting because like if you played it multiplayer and you died, you would come back as a zombie, and then you can go back and find the players and try to kill them. So that was kind of interesting. Cool. And I think this was like the only Resident Evil game where if you got bit, you would have to worry about the T virus and getting it out of you.
See, that's
interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
Let's look down the list here before we kind of dive into like the more of the mainline stuff. Did you ever play the Umbrella Chronicles on the Wii?
No, but you did, right?
Yeah. I would say it's probably a C. Like it's a fun, one of those Wii games where you're kind of shooting at the screen. Like same thing with like the Dead Space game on the Wii. Like that was like a solid experience. Not great, but it was like serviceable. I thought it was pretty fun. I never played the second one. I don't think I played that one. We don't have to worry about any of the multiplayer stuff. I think that's all that stuff is pretty hot garbage.
Pretty garbage.
And they kept trying for a while.
They really did, because Resistance was with Resident Evil 3, and then Reverse was with after Village.
After Village, yeah.
Crazy. They kept trying.
Yeah, it was I guess keep trying. All right, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
I would put this in S. I would put it below 2.
Really?
But what do you think?
Ooh.
You think above 2? I mean, what would you do if you're completely autonomous right now?
I would I would maybe put it between the 2 4s. Like to me, this is like kind of peak Resident Evil.
But then you think about the back half.
Yeah, I mean
with the mines and the ship.
Yeah, that is true. God, that first,
I think the first section is so good. Is like top S tier game, but then you get to the back half, and it's still good. It's just not.
I saw the next game is President Evil, and you fight against Zombie George Washington.
Amazing.
Okay, maybe.
We can put it above 2, but below both.
Yeah,
4s.
I think I liked it a little bit better than 2.
If that works.
And then Village, maybe behind. Is it S tier though? I think it's definitely behind Resident Evil 2. I think it's.
Yeah.
Not my.
I think either high A.
I would say high A.
Yeah, I would almost, because Village has a similar problem to 7, where the back half with the like the factory.
Yeah, I didn't love the factory.
Yeah, factory's not great. That's a pretty big portion of the game. And then I'll also knock it for the Beneviento house being so short, and then also the what is it, the swamp area?
Moreau's area.
His area is so short.
I love that fight though.
I'm the best. Yeah, it's an awesome fight, but that definitely felt like there was some cut content there.
Yeah.
And I think there was. I think they did say that there was cut content.
Yeah. Anytime Resident Evil is like in a castle or like a small place, like a smaller area with like a bunch of ways to kind of get through that section, like it's at its peak. But yeah. Great game though. Yeah. I would say high A is where it should be at.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think that's everything, right?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, for audio listeners, we got S tier. We got Resident Evil 4 remake. Then right after that is Resident Evil 4. I would say probably the Wii version is the best Resident Evil 4. In my opinion, I know all the other ones are great, but I think that is one of the best games with motion controls, and I hate motion controls. And then right after that, still in the S tier, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and right behind that on S tier is Resident Evil 2 remake. Going down to A, we have Resident Evil 8 Village, Resident Evil 5, and then Resident Evil 3 remake. And then B tier, we got Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 remake, the one that was on the GameCube, Resident Evil Revelations 2, and then Resident Evil Revelations. And then C, we've got Resident Evil Outbreak, Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles, and then D is Resident Evil 6.
I think that's a good list.
I think that's a good list.
I think we'll get some hate for putting 5 so high, but you know what? Bring it on.
It's not rage bait. I think it's genuinely it's a genuinely good game. All right, well let's get through this news. So I talked about it earlier, but Highguard launched with mixed reviews. Didn't pull a Concord necessarily. It's not. I wouldn't say it's dead on arrival. If it was 40, then it probably would be. But since it's free to play, I think there's going to be some players there. It's got a chance. Just will those players be there in a month from now? Developers also came out and said it was always meant to be a Shadow Drop game. But Jeff came to them and offered to be the final showing at the TGAs last year, and obviously they didn't want to turn down that offer. So again, we talked about it before, but Jeff was in the right mind, but I just feel like they should have just did what they planned, which is why they had no marketing, radio silent for a month until they were ready.
So it just felt weird for that month.
Yeah, felt very, very, very weird. Most games can't do that and don't do that because they need some sort of marketing. I think this happened last week, but we forgot to put it on the news. But Marathon launches March 5th for $40. Nick, does this interest you at all?
No, not at all.
Moving on. Ubisoft is in shambles right now. Shambles. They have canceled several games. I think some unannounced, but the major one being that Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake that was supposed to come out like a couple years ago, and then I don't know. People didn't like that art style, but I think they.
Well, it just looked bad. Yeah, like the gameplay looked bad.
So they went back to the ground, and I think they were trying to It sounded like from the reports that they were not necessarily making it like an open world game, but maybe more open zone. They were trying to be like it was like maybe more of an ambitious project than they intended it to be, and it just kind of got away from them. It's on my predictions this year, but I think Ubisoft is going to be purchased, or they're going to sell off some of their properties and downsize, and just I know they had like that tier of games and franchises that they have. I don't have that in front of me, but it's very weird that 10, 15 years ago, like Ubisoft was one of the best companies. They had so many fantastic games, and they just didn't miss for a very long time. And at some point, it just got away from them.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I think they'll keep like the Assassin's Creed and the Far Cries, and I think Avatar is doing pretty well, so they'll hang on to that. But like, I can't see any of their other IP continuing on,
like Ghost Recon,
or at least continuing.
I know.
Yeah, it's kind of dead.
I mean, I know they have that. What's the multiplayer game they have right now for Ghost Recon?
Wildlands.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of
Tom Clancy.
Well, it's all Tom Clancy, but Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh yeah.
That was so different than like the Vegas games. but I think that one's still doing well for them. And I think like that, what's that For Honor game? I think it still has like its kind of fan base. I don't know about Skull and Bones. I don't know how well that one's done for them with their quadruple A experience. Last week we had the Xbox Developer Direct. Coming out of that, we got Forza Horizon 6. The launch is May 19th. It's coming to PS5 at a later date this year, I believe. Set place in Japan, which we already knew that. Game looks amazing.
Looks amazing, dude. It looks so good.
Japan,
and the build your own base looks awesome too.
Japan is like kind of the perfect setting for that stuff. For that, I know a lot of fans have been asking about Japan for quite a while. And Mexico, the setting was awesome. And that was like I think one of the first Horizon games that I played, and I really liked it. But yeah, this one I think if I don't play it on Game Pass, I'll probably pick it up for PS5 at least. So nice. looks great. Fable, we got an extensive look at that. Comes out this year in autumn, day and date with PS5. This looks good, man. It looks really good.
Looks like they're doing it right.
Yeah, it looks like what we kind of wanted from Fable. Some of the gameplay looked a little bit choppy. Like obviously the frame rate's got to improve, and hopefully it does.
We'll clean that up.
But yeah, it looks like Fable, man. It looks like they nailed the tone of it.
Yeah, no, I have no complaints. It looks really awesome, and just all the consequences to your actions.
Yeah,
permeating throughout the rest of the gameplay or the rest of the game experience. Like that just sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It is kind of funny. Like the first like 2 trailers, they focused on the giant, like that giant quest, and they're like, yeah, if you can decide to kill him, and then his corpse will just lay out in Albion, and people.
Spoilers.
Like, there's probably
it must be a really small portion.
Yeah, there's probably more to that quest than, but it'd be interesting to see him like stand like walking around Albion if that actually happens. That'd be really cool. Looks ambitious. Beast of Incarnation launches in summer of 2026. This is the game from Game Freak. It sounds like this isn't all. This is maybe more outsourcing than what we initially thought from Game Freak. There's definitely developers in Game Freak that probably wanted to make this game, but it sounds like this is not full Game Freak making. Obviously, they're making Pokemon, so maybe that's why the graphics look pretty damn good. In comparison to the trash they've made in the past. My bad, I got to throw in a Pokemon jab. This one looks cool, man. It kind of looks like a mixture of like Stellar Blade and like God of War. Yeah. It's not a Souls-like per se. It's also not an open world game as well. It looks cool.
Yeah, this one piqued my interest. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but hopefully it's not like just a generic clone of Stellar Blade or Black Myth, but it looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool.
And then Kiln. This is from Double Fine. This was their surprise game. They didn't have a shadow drop at this presentation. This one doesn't do much for me. It's like the create your own pottery, and then it's kind of like a attack the base kind of game. It's interesting, but it's it's a multiplayer kind of only game, and I'm just not quite my cup of tea. No intended, but it looks really cool. And that's why I love that studio is because they kind of just get to make whatever they want to make, and that's awesome.
It's awesome. Just make smaller experiences that are kind of low risk.
Exactly. Super Mario Wonders 2 edition got announced, or we already know about it, but the release date got announced last week, March 26th, as well as 3 new amiibo announced: Elephant Mario, Poplin, and Prince Florian, Captain Toad, and the Talking Flower. Each priced at $24.99, so not the $30 and $40 that we've been kind of accustomed to since the Switch 2 launched. Yeah. So I think they're just still trying to figure out like the pricing for that. The Talking Flower, which is also already announced, launches March 12th for $34.99. And then new features in the Switch 2 edition. Rosalina is playable. There's Toad Brigade challenges, and then there's some new boss content with the 7 Koopalings. We've been kind of burned, I think, on these editions so far, Nick. Does this one do anything for you?
Not necessarily. I loved Wonder, but I'm definitely going to hold off to see what how much single player content there is, and if it's actually worth it to play through. So I'm not really interested in the multiplayer stuff, but yeah, I might pass on this one just because.
Yeah,
just the past Switch 2 versions of these Switch 1 games haven't done it for me.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah.
Confirmed direct this week. We've got the Tamagotchi direct this Thursday, 29th.
Tamagotchi? Wait. Is it Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi? Yeah.
Okay.
Is it no? Is it Tamagotchi? Tamagotchi? Am I saying it wrong?
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi, not Tamagotchi is like the little things. Tamagotchi, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Tamagotchi, the kind of the Animal Crossing like game, sold very well. So I think having a direct for that game is probably pretty important for Nintendo. I think a lot of fans over the years have been clamoring for this game, and I'm interested because this game's very weird. So I'm interested to see more about this game. To see exactly what it is, because I've personally never played one before. We have, I mentioned this is the first confirmed direct. We obviously had the Super Mario Galaxy movie direct on Sunday, which was cool. Got a first look at Yoshi and all that stuff. So next week, we don't know exactly the date, but probably the 5th, which is next Thursday. We're getting a Nintendo Direct, I would say probably a mainline. Kind of makes sense with all been going on this past week. Nintendo's kind of getting all this smaller stuff out of the way so they can kind of focus on some big stuff. So I think this is going to be a pretty big direct next week if it does happen. Yeah. I know you texted me the other day. That's kind of what we always say. We always get our hopes up, but I think this is going to be a real big one. Nate the Hate, kind of, I think he's the one that kind of came up or kind of first started talking about this direct. Obviously, I would say any sort of speculation or rumors leaks always definitely a huge grain of salt. It's not just because he says it's not end all be all. It's not gospel. But he has been very right. He did confirm the Switch 2 stuff back in early January of last year. So you have to take that into consideration. Here's some of his third-party predictions. I don't know if this is necessarily at this direct per se, but it's just kind of his overall 2026 predictions. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Metaphor ReFantazio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, any sort of Yakuza Like a Dragon game coming, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4, Doom the Dark Ages, and Final Fantasy 16 is under consideration. I think all those are extremely plausible and make sense to come to Switch 2.
And yeah, I don't think, obviously not all of these would be announced. I think like at the direct, I think we could see Expedition 33 maybe, or Metaphor.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see like Resident Evil 2, 3, 4 since the focus will be on 7, 8, and 9. But we could get something like Doom, the Dark Ages.
Absolutely.
Or like Switch 2 versions for Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Or the original Doom, just to get that frame rate up. Yeah, I mean, all these seem possible though.
And I think he also mentioned Xenoblade 2 is getting a Switch
That's a
2
weird
edition. We have the Xenoblade like definitive edition, right? So
yeah,
maybe
I just don't know what
that
they would add to it. I thought they would just do like a frame rate boost and visual fidelity boost for it, unless they're adding new content.
Typically like the Switch 2 editions have all been some sort of new content, and that already had the Torna DLC.
Yeah, they already had that like $40 DLC. So I don't know if they would bundle that in and sell it as one package, or if there's like actual additional content that they're going to add in. Kind of
either way. Either way, more Xenoblade is also obviously great. So would still love to see that X update for Switch 2.
Yeah.
This one isn't official, but images popped up by Walmart. So this is a leak from Walmart. Metro Prime 2 Echoes and Pikmin 2 are coming to NSO on the GameCube app. I would prefer to play Echoes with with a remake kind of style with the modern controls, but still, it's cool. It's still, we knew it was coming, right? But it's cool that it's probably coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Probably get announced at the direct next week if there is one.
It is weird that Pikmin 2 is coming when that's already available.
Yeah,
on the eShop, but
yeah, kind of weird. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird with the remakes and then also having NSO as well for those original games. But we've got some updated Q3 sales for Capcom. Monster Hunter Rise is at 18 million. I'm not gonna go through all these, but most of their games that they have had a pretty good increase in sales, million plus for most of the Resident Evil 4s, 7s. Street Fighter 6 had an increase, probably mainly due to Switch 2. So happy to see Capcom doing very well because they just haven't had a miss.
They're killing it, man. I mean, the only thing I see here is Wilds. It just isn't. It doesn't have legs. It sold 10 million in the first month and then kind of fell off after that. Whereas
I think the word of mouth kind of stuff, like they people were saying that it's a much easier Monster Hunter game, and maybe the end game stuff isn't quite there, but I'm sure they have some sort of significant content coming for that game.
I'm sure a Switch 2 version.
And a Switch 2 version. Splatoon 3 is getting an update on January 29th, so Friday.
They're adding health bars
or Thursday. Very so there's they call it the Flow Ore. It's a new mechanic that activates when defeating multiple opponents in a row. Provides a boost to the run speed, swim speed, ink resistance, intensify action, kind of like a kill streak. That's what it sounds like, which is awesome. Health bars are coming. Nick just mentioned. Very, very interesting that it's happening now. Hit detection adjustments, whatever that means. They didn't go to the details of how significantly that changes. And then a stealth jump gear allows players to jump to their teammates without the opposing team necessarily seeing where they land. So
that's cool.
Very cool updates to Splatoon 3 that's been out for quite a while. Are you going to jump back into this and check it out?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm all in for Splatoon Raiders, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah.
But maybe they're trying to just keep this game alive a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Interesting.
Virtual Boy is coming. We already knew about it, but it's launching on NSO on February 17th. Tons of games coming. Galactic Pinball, Red Alarm. I never played Virtual Boy, so I don't really have affiliation for any of this stuff.
Did you pre-order this?
No, I did not.
Okay, me neither.
One of those things where I would probably play it once, and it's just going to sit on my shelf.
Yeah, it's like $100 though.
Yeah, if it was like $50, $40, I think I would have jumped. Pulled the trigger on that. But if for $100, no, I think I'm okay. The Mario Clash Mario Tennis coming later on after launch. Koei Tecmo also had some updated sales. I really just kind of added this here because Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is a 1 million plus seller. I think that's sell through and not necessarily sold, but still doesn't matter. Still retailers have purchased it. So 1 million copies have gone out to retailers and to consumers. So they absolutely consider that a 1 million seller, which is awesome.
I'm sure we'll get more details from Nintendo next week in their financials.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the Dynasty Warriors series has sold 24 million plus.
Pretty good.
That's awesome. The Neo series, which I haven't touched before. And I think in 3 is coming out this year. So that's 8 million plus, which is good. Wo Long, interesting. This one's 5 million plus users in parentheses because it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I did enjoy that game, but it just didn't stick for me in the long run for that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, that is
cool. That's all the news.
All the news. Yeah, big news this week. I'm sure there'll be. I mean, Nintendo just kind of continues to drop little updates every single day, which is exciting. I'm excited for that Tamagotchi Direct on.
Keep forgetting
on Thursday.
about that.
So, again, if there is a Direct next week, we probably won't know until the day before. It just kind of depends on whenever Nintendo announces. So maybe next Monday we'll do some predictions on what we think could potentially be there.
Yeah.
And do that unless something happens. But Nick, final thoughts before we wrap up this show.
I mean, next week Nintendo financials. We'll see how.
Very curious for Metro.
Yeah, hopefully it's above 2 million, but I think it'll be in that 1 to 2 range.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2 million plus. I think it was up on the eShop long enough in both Switch 1 and Switch 2. I think it held a little bit stronger on the Switch 2 than the Switch 1 eShop. But I'm going to say 2 million plus. Plus, heart, for the physical owners as well. I think 2 million plus is. I think you think of that, or you still think a little bit lower?
I still think like 1.8. Higher one, but I just don't know if it broke 2. I just have a feel. I have a feeling. I have a bad feeling about it.
I wanted to sell well, and maybe we'll both be like shocked, and it'll be like a 4 million seller or something. Like I would love for it to sell well. Like I know this is everyone's favorite Prime game, and it's not the best, absolutely, but I want Retro to get another shot at Prime 5, to where they have the complete reins of the franchise, because they were obviously kind of dropped in with just stuff that was already kind of made, and they just had to go with it. Nintendo was like, we've got this, we got to use it, make something out of it.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what that game, if they get to make a Prime 5. And Prime 4 looks so damn good too, like visually.
Yeah.
Does not look like a PS3 game. Damn it.
It does not, dude. It does not. Stop saying that.
All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. If you can review us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, that'd be greatly appreciated. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.